stay with you for the next 1 hour.
Right.
So thank you so much for booking your class with me today. Yeah. Before we got on with your
Right.
interview
Right.
practice, right?
Right. Right.
Okay. So may I ask, how's your day going so far?
Today, in the morning, I have another class,
Mm-mm. Oh,
and
that's good.
in the afternoon, I met with my friends and uh, the drunk a coffee and
Mm-hmm.
chat with chat with him, uh, and I enjoyed with them. I enjoyed with him.
That's good. So it's only one friend.
Right, right.
Okay.
I just came back to my house to take part in this class.
Okay. So thank you for coming.
You're
I'm
welcome.
sorry to disturb your fun with your friend. Okay. So are you going back out after our class?
Maybe, but in Korea,
Mm-mm.
this is the 7 o'clock.
Mm-mm.
So after 1 hour, maybe 8 o'clock, I think it is too late to go out. So
Oh, okay.
even though we promised to meet again, but I think it cannot
Mm-mm.
it cannot be uh, how can I say uh, cannot be do that. I can do
Mm-mm.
that.
Uh-huh. But well, yeah, 8 o'clock, and probably you have to travel for another hour.
Mhm.
Well, there are still a lot of open cafes or bars or restaurants in your
But
city at nine
but
o'clock, right?
in the afternoon, I spend a lot
Mm-hmm.
of time with him, so I need to take a relax because I have to go office tomorrow.
Mm-mm. Oh, oh, so you are also working.
Right, I have worked for 13 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was just surprised because you mentioned in your message that you are going to take an interview for a business school. So
Right,
I
right.
thought that you are having your masteral at this time or something or doctorate.
Right. This is I was selected for the sponsored management overseas program.
Wow.
So I need to prepare the, for interview before applying for uh, before admission
Mm-mm.
uh, of the certain business school.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Mm.
That's good. So, where will, may I ask, where will you study, or at least what state?
Uh,
Yeah.
in China, in Fudan Business School.
Wow, that's very nice. And business school, I guess that is a very big deal. I've always wanted to go to business school, but one
Thank you.
thing, it's very expensive. Another, I don't have time. But I have always wanted to go to business school. Okay.
because
Mm-mm.
because I have worked 13 years and I'm senior manager, so
Wow.
I
Okay.
need to add something more special to uh, to promote uh,
Mm-mm.
to the management level.
Mm-mm.
So I think the MBA program is very helpful for
Mm-mm.
getting promotion,
Mm.
and I because I have to work in the product planning team for a
Mm-mm.
long time, so I have only technical background. So
Mm-mm.
I need
Mm-mm.
develop the management
Management.
and the leadership skill, something like
Mm-mm.
that.
Mm-mm.
So
Mm.
I think being selected as a being selected for the sponsored management program will be very helpful for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm, that's great. So this interview that you will have in a couple of days, right?
This interview take place in
Mm-mm.
just one day at the end of November. So I
Ah,
have
okay.
only 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. And this interview would be in English, right?
Right, right. Even though
Okay.
I need to apply for the university in China, but
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
all the lecture will be giving in English. So,
Wow.
so the English skill is also very important for me.
Mm-mm. Well, you're doing great.
But not,
Yes.
I'm trying, but
Mm.
I think still the lack of it's still the lack of the English skill.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's good that you feel that so that you will have motivation to improve more.
Hmm.
Yeah, even though you are already good in expressing yourself, sometimes, when we have a higher level in English, it feels like it's very hard for us to improve. But
Right.
when we feel that, I need to improve more, I need to improve more, something like that, then you have motivation.
Thank you. Frankly said,
Uh-huh.
uh, I have worked in the area of the relative the China market, Chinese
Mm-mm.
market.
Mm-mm.
So speak. I usually use the Chinese for
Oh.
communication with the customers and the
Mm-mm.
coworkers. So
Oh, so you can speak Chinese. Wow,
yes,
impressive.
so even though I learned the English for a long time, because in Korea, all
Mm-mm.
of students learned English in the high school or the mid
Mm-mm.
school, but I already forgot how to use the English.
Mm.
So uh, in the beginning of this year, when I was selected for the sponsored management program, and
Mm-mm.
I started to learn English again. So,
Mm.
but I think
Mm-mm.
the English is
Mm-mm.
still very hard to study for me.
Well, that goes for any language, not just English. And I think any language is hard to
Right,
study.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So what and you said that you had not used it for a long time, so the only way to get back or to remember everything and to
Hmm.
be able to improve is to start using it. Keep practicing. Keep using it.
Right, right, right,
Keep communicating using
right,
that language.
right.
Okay. Well, since you have booked our class for an interview, we might as well get on with it. So, when was the last time you had an English interview?
This is the first time for me. At the end of
Oh.
the last November.
Okay. But you had job interviews before, of course, right?
Ah, I have worked in the Samsung Electronics for the 13 years.
Mm-mm,
As
mm-mm.
soon as I graduated the university,
Wow.
I enter the Samsung
Samsung.
Electronics.
Wow.
So I
So
didn't have any experience to take the English interview.
interview. Oh
Right.
my. Okay.
Ah, just
And
one
it's
time, just
already,
one time.
yeah.
I remember just one time. When maybe 15 years ago, I went
Mm-mm.
to the Philippines to study English.
Mm-mm.
At and at that time in the institution,
Mm-mm.
the English teachers interview me. She decided uh, my the English skill,
Mm-hmm.
and then he advised me to go uh, intermediate the level the class.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So at the time I took just one time the interview,
Mm-mm.
and
Ah.
after that I didn't have. Mm.
Oh, okay. Well, at least you already had an experience, although it had been a long time now. So we might as well practice right
Right,
now.
right.
So what I do with my interview classes is that we go ahead and have a pretend interview.
Ah,
So
mm,
we have a mock interview. I will pretend to be the interviewer, and of course you are the interviewee. So you pretend that we are in that interview setting, but please relax.
right. Okay.
Right. And just answer me with what comes to your mind. And if you remember your interview in Samsung,
Hmm.
then just do what you did during that time. Answered the questions
Hmm.
honestly.
Okay.
Okay. Highlight your skills and advantages. Okay.
Okay.
So let's try with the first one.
Hmm.
Walk me through your resume.
Uh, as soon as I graduated my university, I entered the Samsung Electronics 13 years ago. And I was assigned to the development team. Uh, in that department, I was responsible for the software program. I worked in that department for the 3 years, and then I transferred the department to the product planning team because I think in the development department, I only um, mm, I could I could see only very narrow part of whole development process. So I decided to transfer the other part. And then I at first I was assigned to the manage the Apple project in the product planning team. I managed the iPad and iPhone the, and the mobile devices in the Apple program. And then I was responsible for the touch, the IC and the display IC in the smartphone. Uh, and then I got promotion to senior. I was promoted to the senior, the manager, 4 years ago, and I was selected for the sponsored management program uh, last year. Oh, that's all.
Okay, so thank you so much for answering that question.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. So when we you should so walk me through your resume is just another way of asking
Mm-hmm.
who are you or tell me something about yourself.
Mhm.
right? But instead of saying that, they say, walk me through your resume. So you do not need to to explain everything that is in your resume because
Mhm.
they have already read it. They
Ah, okay.
already know what it is. So
Ah,
what
okay.
you can do is summarize what's
Samurai.
in your resume, right?
Uh-huh.
Summarize what's in your resume.
Mhm.
Uh, e- Emphasize on the latest accomplishments that you
Ah,
had.
okay.
Yeah. So emphasize your accomplishments
Mhm.
and your strengths.
Okay.
So strengths and skills. Those are the
Mhm.
things that you should emphasize in those in the resume. So
Mhm.
for example, you are saying that I was in the software development department, then
Mhm.
maybe you could say, while in this department, I was able to learn this and that. I was
Mhm.
able to learn how to interact with other members of the team, like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
And when I was transferred in this department
Mhm.
for how many years, we
Mhm.
were we worked in this project, the Apple project. And while in this program, I was able to learn and hone my skills in this area,
Mhm.
things like that. So
Mhm.
try to emphasize what you have achieved and what did you learn in those areas
Okay.
because they are not mentioned in your resume.
Okay, I see, I see.
Yeah, so your resume is very technical, so
Mm-hmm.
give them insights of
Mm-hmm.
what you were while you were in that
Mm-hmm.
position.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
So,
Now let me try again.
okay, go ahead. Walk me through your resume, sir.
I have worked for the 13 years in product planning team, the Samsung Electronics. Uh, all the products I managed, uh, I drove the all the products I made, I was responsible for, took number one the market share in the world,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
and then especially 3 years ago, the Touch IC I was responsible for the managing is uh, is Touch IC the company the seriously reviewed whether keep going on Touch IC business or not because at the time the Touch IC uh, didn't make good sales for the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But mm, as soon as I took the responsible for the Touch IC business, I
Mm-hmm.
bounced the Touch IC business sales. So management, uh, I sorry, I think I have proven my ability in the area of my working part. So finally, I was selected for the sponsored management program.
Better. Perfect. There you go.
Thank
That's what I'm looking for.
you. Thank you.
So you see, your first answer was just focus on what was on the resume.
Mhm.
With your second answer, you focus on what you did, and I'm so amazed about what you said that it was number one. Wow, you're a
Thank
big
you.
shot in Samsung.
Thank
All right. But of course, do not forget to at least mention something about the resume,
you.
right?
Okay.
So you summarize it and then
Mhm.
expound what you did and what you have learned. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect answer. Now let's go to the second one. What do you do outside work?
Outside work. Mm, I usually okay. When leave my office, I usually go to my house directly because I have two kids, and my wife is also working for the other company, so I need to uh, uh, come. I need to go to my house as soon as possible, and I need to take care of my kids, and I need to cook for my uh, kids. And then uh, whenever I have free time, I went to the the park, which is located in our apartment. Uh, I In there I enjoyed playing with my kids, and then uh, mm, that's all.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, and I like that answer. I really like that answer. Because you mentioned family.
Right,
Most
right.
people, most people just say, "Oh, I have this hobby. I have that hobby.
Mm,
I go hang out with my friends. I
mhm.
do this, I do that." But with your answer, you presented that you are a family man, a
Right,
responsible family
right,
man, trying to balance work and family.
right,
That's a
right.
very good answer, actually. Yeah, because okay, you are being interviewed for a not a job position, but a learning
Right,
position,
right, right.
right? So what they want to see here is that you are responsible to manage your time
Mhm,
and you have that drive to learn more. So I think for me, if I am the interviewer, I am looking for dedication and responsibility,
mhm, mhm.
not just ability, because you already have that ability. You are already working,
Right.
right? So what they're looking for is your dedication to learn.
Um, uh, uh, in our company is
Mm-hmm.
very interested in improving its employee the ability. Is our company is offering a variety of uh, the programs, education program to
Mm-mm.
the employees. So I just took a class, so whatever I
Mm-mm.
want take.
That's
So
very.
through the online or offline program, I was able to develop the ability whatever I need to. That's all.
That's very nice. Okay. I am breaking off script, all right, to give some pointers and comments on the answers. So let's get back to the questions again. I Do you want me to follow every question, or would you like to have a more natural transition?
Bursa, Bursa will be okay.
Um, so let's follow the questions.
Following the question, or you ask whatever
Uh-huh.
you have, ask
Okay.
me.
Yeah,
Will
because
be fine. Mm.
most interviewers wouldn't actually follow a script.
Mm-hmm.
So let's follow a more natural transition based on your answers and based on
Okay.
the questions provided, right?
Okay.
So, of course, why are you interested in this program and why are you applying for this particular university?
Um, because I took responsible for Chinese market in our company, so I was selected to apply for the China the university, and I chose the Fudan Business School in China because the Fudan Business School is located in Shanghai. The Shanghai is one of the most growing the city in the world and the center of the financial and economy of the China. So I think it would be great chance to have close relationship with the the managers of the financial and the economic area. And then the second one is the high quality the lecture because the Fudan Business School possess more than 150 the faculties. So I was very impressed with uh, the high quality the professors the skills. The last one is the Fudan Business School is cooperating with MIT University because I have the technical the background, so I need to develop the area of technical part. Uh, MIT is one of the best the high the institution in the part of technical area. So I think I I was able to fulfill uh, my demand through the MIT program. So those are the reasons that I chose the Fudan Business School.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, uh, what's your reason for taking an MBA?
MBA, okay. um, I have worked for 13 years, and I'm now the senior major. Uh, the Samsung's company is a global enterprise, so for the senior manager, it to communicate it with the foreign employees and the foreign customers and coworkers is very natural. So and then I have uh, 20 more than 20 the staff members. So I need to develop the management skill and leadership skill. So I think if I uh, learned the MBA program, it would be a great chance to develop both language skill and the management skill. So I chose the MBA program.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great answer and great choice. The second one and this one as well. Very good, very good. The way you presented your ideas, very logical, and you did not make many grammatical mistakes.
Thank you.
Actually, very minor. The only thing that I have noticed is that you often um, use the word the.
Duh. Mm.
Okay, yes, when you are talking about um, specific things like the
Uh,
Samsung,
uh, uh,
yeah.
uh,
So usually when we mention something specific like um, a company name or yeah, or a city or something like that, we
mm-hmm.
don't usually use the. Okay, you can
Uh,
just say Samsung Company is a global
uh,
enterprise because you
uh,
mentioned Samsung, the Samsung Company is the global
uh,
enterprise. So use a
uh,
instead.
just our
Yeah.
company is a global enterprise,
Yes.
like that.
Okay. Yes. So just be careful with the word the. But aside from that, your grammar is spot on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So you mentioned that.
I have
Mhm.
the bad hobbies. Well,
Aha.
that is not. I didn't notify. Just when I sing, when I talking. to the person, I
Mm-mm.
usually use just like that. But
Mm-mm.
I didn't uh, I didn't realize I
Mm-mm.
didn't realize what I'm talking something like
Ah.
that. But
Mhm.
but listener uh,
Mm-mm.
the listeners said you have very bad hobbies when you're talking to the other person.
Mhm.
So I was
Oh,
very careful to use
mm-mm.
to speak something like that, something like that. So I just want to ask you.
Uh-huh.
Uh, we are taking the lesson for about 30 minutes.
Yes.
I used sound a lot.
I didn't actually notice.
Okay.
So, because one thing, and us, especially in a conversation, is very, very normal,
Right, right.
right? The only, I think the only time that you have to be careful about that is when you are giving a speech.
Mm, okay.
Because they tend to notice it. But in a conversation, that's all right. It's very acceptable and that's very normal.
Yes,
Just
yes.
just of course don't use it every other word or every sentence. Of course it will be too obvious. But it's necessary sometimes for us to say like that in order for us to process our thoughts.
Right,
So
right.
it's not, for me personally, it's not a very big problem.
Okay, thank you.
Just be careful not to use it too
Mm.
often and not too long. It will
Mm.
be too obvious that oh he is thinking like that. But honestly, I didn't notice, so I think you were just using it in a normal way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
So going back to
Mm,
our questions, so you mentioned that you transferred from another department and you are having um, added responsibilities. So
right.
tell me about the changes in your responsibilities since your promotion.
Mm, okay. When I was to promoted to senior manager, I got the stressful because I need to take more responsibility for a variety of projects. When I was the staff members, I just need to focus on just one project. But uh, after getting promotion, I need to look at a variety of projects, and then I need to create our company strategies, which is which need to report the management.
Hmm.
The management, the person in the management is not easy person. I don't know how can I say. So they are easy to angry whenever they don't acceptable.
Hmm.
Uh, so every time I was very nervous to work in company, and I was more stressful. But I think that is that would be also in the process of getting promotion. I'm 38 years old, and I have another goal to promote. So if I manage these stressful things, I can, I, I will. be promotion to more upper position. That's all.
Okay. Very honest answer. I like it.
Thank you.
Okay. Um, m- the maybe the only thing that we need to maybe revise a little bit is when you said that the people in management is not the easy person. Okay, the people, not the person in management. Yeah,
Aha, right,
the
right, right.
person in management.
Mhm.
Uh, well, how can we say this that it's not too negative?
Just to
Yeah, because
mm,
a general rule in an interview is that
ah
we should not
how
we
can I
should not
say uh
badmouth. Yeah.
just the he is the management the
Mm-mm.
person in the management is kind of just very strict.
Yes, a
Uh,
better word, I
uh,
think. Yeah,
um,
yeah,
mm,
strict.
mm.
Or you could say that dealing with the people in management is sometimes challenging.
Right.
Right.
Challenging.
Yeah. Of course, they know. We all know that there will always be someone in upper management that is very difficult to deal with.
Right.
Honestly speaking, I think everyone had encountered a difficult boss, so they
R-
already know that.
right.
And yeah, and saying that you're you are not having you are having a great time would be not believable. So this one is good.
Right. Right.
You're
Right.
telling them, yeah, that it's not easy is good. Just not just choose your words properly in order to be a little bit positive. Like, yeah,
Right.
instead
Right.
of saying not an easy person, then you can say that they are strict, or
Right. Mm-hmm.
they have demands, like that.
Mm-hmm.
They are a little bit demanding, or they
Mm-hmm.
are challenging,
Mm.
something like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
And it's very honest. I think that you said that you are under stress because of the new promotion.
Right.
The good part of you saying that is that you connected it with why you want to study. Learning management skills will
Mm-hmm.
probably help you manage the stress,
Right.
and for you, so maybe for you to be more effective in your duties.
Right.
Mhm. Okay. Um, Another point I think that maybe we should take note of is that at the last, especially at the last part, you mentioned promotion quite a bit, maybe 3 times, right? So there's nothing wrong with it, since this is the reason why you had this course in the first place. But
Mm-hmm.
the interviewer might think that you are just doing it because of your promotion. Right,
Right.
so maybe you could also state another reason, not just the promotion, right? Like, oh, I wanted to develop my management skills,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, so that they will not think that you're just doing this because you want to be promoted. You don't
Right.
really want to learn. You don't really want to improve your leadership skills, something like that. So mention more if
Mm.
you can. But
Mm.
all in all, great answer.
Thank you.
Okay. So tell me about something at work that you have been proud of in this last year.
Uh, mm, because I worked in the product planning team, I need to create more the more something special uh, because if I made an idea which is already existed in the world, it does
Mm-hmm.
not help for our sales. But uh, that the technology that I made uh, usually is kind of new technology. which has a very high risk. So
Mhm.
the development department members usually opposed to agree with my ideas. Last year, I made a new idea which is called TDDI.
Mhm.
TDDI stands for Touch Display Drive IC. Um, Before that, there is a very common to use the two different IC, Touch IC and Display IC in the smartphone. But I made an idea which is integrated uh, one IC between
Oh.
the Touch IC and Display IC. But that is very challengeable. So the development department members didn't like or didn't want to develop such kind of the project.
Mhm.
But I persuaded them to accept my idea and finally developed the TDDI program. And the TDDI program becomes uh, the standard project in nowadays, and all set customers, including Apple and Samsung, such kind of the major set customers are using the TDDI, and all the competitors the following our the strategy and benchmark our program. So I'm very proud to say that I did a great job in last year.
Wow. Well, I'm not the interviewer now. I'm just. Oh my God, this is so impressive. Like it's like okay, I have a phone here and like talking to someone who's actually made this thing possible is like oh.
Thank
Wow,
you.
you that's a very um I think what you're doing there is very impressive. And the fact that you have these responsibilities is very amazing. Okay. So going back to the interview.
Okay, thank you.
So, mhm. You mentioned that at first they were not able to accept your proposal because the project was challenging. Oh, yeah,
Right.
you mentioned the word challengeable. Okay, it should be challenging.
Challenging.
Yes. So you mentioned that they were not able to accept your proposal at first. So that's a conflict between you and the other members of
Right.
your company. So how do you manage to resolve a
Right.
conflict situation?
At first, they
Mhm.
didn't believe my idea can come true
Mhm.
uh, because the TDDI has a lot of the technical issues,
Mm-mm-mm.
and there is uh, no technical the background to develop the TDDI. So I um, I met with the relative experts and discussed with them how to handle the, the TDDI, the program. And I gathered a lot of information through the official the department, uh, official the survey or the technical the department. And then I summarized all the document into one the summarize one document, and I present to them the TDD, what is the TDDI, and the TDDI is the value, and if we develop the TDDI and the TDDI the uh, the mm, the potential of the TDDI the sales something like that. So I first persuade the management level, and the management agree with my idea, and they push. Ah, no, no, no. The department, the members also finally agree with my ideas because that has that would be very beneficial to our sales. So through the national discussion process, I persuaded them to accept my ideas.
Okay, that's very good. So with that answer, you actually managed to answer all of these questions.
Right.
Yeah. If you read all the questions here, here, and here, your answer, that answer addressed all of them. So you see, that's why I told you that we shouldn't just follow the script because each question sometimes based on your answer, they will already have your answer. They have their answers.
Mhm.
So, like, if I am the interviewer, I will move on to the next one. Okay. So these questions are already addressed. So
Mhm.
how about a failure? Okay. Tell me about a time when your expectations were not met.
Uh, I was a person who is very optimistic. So whenever my expectation was not met, I never disappointed with it. I
Hmm.
just think it would be uh, if I tried again, the better the result will come true. Uh, for example, uh, the last year I did a great job through the TDDI the development,
Hmm.
but I expected to receive some the prize from the company, but there's
Hmm.
nothing. So I was a little bit disappointed. But at the beginning of this year, I finally selected for the MBA program, sponsored MBA program. The MBA program is much better than any other prize. So uh, even though last year I my expectation was not met, then this year the much bigger the prize finally come to me. So I believe uh, if I consist or I insist on under my belief, the better result will come true.
Mm, okay. That's a very optimistic answer, and I couldn't add more to that. That's a very good one.
Thank you.
Okay. So, okay, let's try to answer a more specific question
Mhm.
about failure. Tell me about a time when you have failed.
Actually, mm, uh, actually, I I don't remember I have failed experience, but let me try. Okay. Okay. Uh, mm, uh, okay. Uh, at the beginning of this year, I was selected for the management sponsored management program. The company gave me around 6 months to focus on studying English in order
Mm.
to prepare for applying for the business school. It means that I need to pass some specific English test. Some coworkers did who was very good at speaking the English uh, is uh, he passed the specific English test in the very early time, but I failed to pass that English test. Uh, at the time, I was a little bit disappointed because I'm not, I was not good at the English, but I tried to more concentrated on the study English, and then finally, I also the passed that the English test. So if I if at the time I was disappointed and I gave up to study English, I didn't have opportunity to take part in the interview. So I, as I mentioned before, I'm an optimistic person who is never give up.
Oh, that's a very good one also. You always know the right answers. Or maybe it is that you express them in a very honest way that somehow make the listener believe you. So I think this is very good.
Thank you.
And yeah, I like the way you answered this question because you made your failure into a positive
Hmm.
answer. That's
Hmm.
good. Actually, that's the best way to answer this question.
Thank
Make
you.
your failure into a positive positive situation, or so that you can tell what is positive about you
Thank
using
you.
this question, and that is perfect.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, I understand why you weren't able to think of a failure at first, because for you, I think for you, mm, probably nothing is a failure because at the end you're going to use it to succeed, right?
Hmm.
To
Right.
the point that you cannot remember the first failure already because at the end you were successful. Is that the kind of person you are? Oh, that's
All
great.
right. Yes.
Oh, no wonder that you are very good in this in your current field.
Thank you.
We have a very few more minutes left, so
Mm-hmm.
let's answer some of the ending
Mm-hmm.
part
Okay.
of the questions.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have applied to our university.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that you will be a good candidate for this program? And do you think that you will be a good example to be an alumni of our university?
Uh-huh. Okay. Uh, 3 years ago, I went to the China to study Chinese. So, and now I, I was able to speak Chinese fluently. That means I can have the ability to have the close relationship with the Chinese. In China, the relationship is very crucial to uh, to make business.
Mm-hmm.
So I already have a very important skill. Next one is I'm a senior manager, so uh, I have proven my ability in our company. So the possibility getting promotion to management uh, is much higher than any other people. So if I was I were a student in your business school may possess the future the leader in the global enterprise. The last one is my personality. I in 13 years working my working time, I never have I don't have any experience in the failure. That means I have the ability in the parts of working and communication and leadership, something like that. So I I'm sure that I was good enough to be candidate for your business school.
Very nice. Very well said and confident. I
Mm.
like it. Okay,
Thank you.
there were grammatical slips, but it's okay. It's very understandable what you were trying to express, and I think that's the thing that is important here.
Thank you.
Okay. So there you go. They probably are going to ask something like that at the end of the interview.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, before our last question, um, you mentioned in your request that I should point out pronunciation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, most of your words are okay. They are very understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we
Mm-hmm.
have to accept that native speakers and something like that, they have different ways of pronouncing words. But
Mm-hmm.
the way you pronounce it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand
Mm.
what you
Thank
were trying to say. But
you. Mm-hmm.
I heard you said this word two times
Promotion.
and it okay.
Promote.
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 Okay, better.
Promote.
There you go.
Mm,
Promotion is okay, but promote.
promote.
Yes, not
Uh,
promote.
okay.
Okay,
It's
that's
more
the only
accent
word.
on the M sound.
Yes,
Promote.
sir.
Uh,
Yes. So that's the only one that I have spotted. All the other words, it's okay.
okay, thank you.
So if you are having trouble pronouncing your R's and pronouncing your L's, then maybe you could do some exercise to make your tongue more relaxed to pronounce those words properly.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So aside from that, sir, I think we did well today.
Mm-hmm.
You're ready for that interview.
Okay,
And
thank you.
I hope that you get in that university. Okay. So for our last question,
Mm-hmm.
you are based in Korea and you are going to study. The university is in China. Are you going to have problems with the locations?
There's no problem that I study in overseas because I can speak Chinese as well as
Mm-mm,
Korean.
mm-mm,
So it does matter of the location. Also, I have two kids.
mm-mm,
So if I study in a foreign country, I
mm-mm.
can give our kids to study in international school. In Korea,
Ah,
English is very important, as you know.
mm-mm, mm-mm,
So in international school, it would be a great chance to communicate with the friends
mm-hmm.
speaking the English. So I think in the foreign country study the MBA program would be much more a better chance than any other program, any other location.
Mm-mm. You are really a very optimistic person. And with
Okay.
that, sir, that's the end of our interview. Congratulations. It's really good, I think.
Thank you.
You
Thank
know, if I am the person interviewing you, I would really accept you on the spot. But of course, I am not. Yeah, I'm just evaluating your answers based on the questions and how clearly you stated them, and I think it's great.
Thank you.
Right. So our time is up, sir. I
Mhm.
think. Let me just check. Oh yes, it is. So we have to say goodbye for now, and I bet you also want to take a rest
O-
already.
Okay.
So do you have additional questions, Sir Kobe?
Nothing. I'm enough.
Okay, so it's an honor to meet you, sir. I hope that we
Me
could meet
too.
again some other time.
Thank you.
I really love hearing technical stuff about your work because I'm interested in those things.
Thank you.
But for now, sir, our time is
Uh,
over, so I'll have to say
Okay.
goodbye.
Thank you.
Have a
Bye.
great evening. Thank
Bye
you,
bye.
sir. Bye
Mm.
bye.